I was lonely and I was 21 years old. I was hoping to maybe find a girlfriend, start a life, get married, just basic stuff, you know? And it just never worked out that way. I met some guys at a party on the block on Barnes Avenue. Well, they seemed like nice people, but they were into some kinky stuff with witchcraft and so forth. So I began to drift into that and hang out in the park with them. And it didn't seem to be anything bad or evil. It all seemed kind of normal. I didn't see any danger in that. One thing led to another, and I found this satanic thing to be pretty interesting, you know. In fact, it was almost like spooky and adventurous. I always felt drawn to that anyways. I said, wow, this is really neat. This is really interesting. So I always wanted something to commit my life to. I began to go a little deeper. I went out and purchased a satanic Bible. I didn't even know there was such a thing, but someone says, you got to get this, you know, this Bible, you know, this will help you. This will give you, you know, the power that you want, the control over life that you want. It's cool, it's okay, you know, there's good stuff in there. I felt that I was somehow ready to go through like go to another level where I asked the devil to come into my life and take over, and I surrendered myself to this being that in my twisted thinking, I thought was somehow going to be my friend or something. Under some of the literature that I had read, Satan and Jesus were working together for the same goal. While Satan's job was to destroy, the ultimate aim was to bring about God's kingdom. That in the end, the devil and Jesus will be reunited and become friends. Like they're working on, in other words, on the same team, but with different ways. I actually believed this in my mind. I become convinced over time that my job was to be a soldier for the devil and to bring destruction. Ultimately, that good will become of it, that it will help bring about the apocalypse, the end of the world, so that God could establish his kingdom of peace. That made sense to me back then. Today I could slap myself in the face for believing something so stupid, but actually believe that with all my heart. That the bad things that were being done were actually going to be good. But it was just a trick of the enemy. I know I was in a lot of torment. You know, people can't understand that. They're not in my shoes. But I was a very tormented person. I was not happy. I was not receiving any joy over the things that were happening. I wanted out of that, so I couldn't wait, in a sense, to finally get it over with. And I remember when I was arrested and the cops surrounded me with guns pointed in every direction as I sat in my car in front of that apartment building on Pine Street. They took me out of the car, and one of the officers, he said to me, are you glad this is over? And I looked at him and I said, yeah, I'm very glad. And they were all like taken aback that I was almost happy. I was thankful.